Today, I'll discuss social media as a tool for mass awakening and serving public interest. Earlier, I had talked about cyberculture as the expansion of social media platforms gave rise to this term called cyberculture, and therefore it is imperative to understand another phenomenon called net neutrality. The basic premises of net neutrality is this: open internet, full of resources of the internet, and the means to operate it should be accessible to all individuals and companies. Second, indiscriminate access to data, which means information disseminated through internet must be accessible to all. Third, all internet traffic should be treated equally. Fourth, internet service providers cannot change e-content or block the users for the sake of their own vested interest or profit making intent. Now, the World Wide Web Foundation was established in 2009 by web inventor Sir Tim Berners-Lee. There, he said, "We believe that the web is a public good and that access is a basic right. Our work focuses on securing and enhancing the three rights of access, voice, and participation." Our team of more than 30 experts comprises around 20 different nationalities, many from the global south, working from 4 hubs around the world. We work in close partnership with over 150 organizations to reach into around 60 countries. Our annual Web Index, a study covering 86 countries, produced the world's first ever overview of net neutrality in 2014. Each packet of data transmitted on the web must be treated equally by the entire network without censorship or prioritization for any political or business reason or organization. This applies equally to negative measures, that is, blocking or throttling content or services, or positive incentivization, that is, paid prioritization of data, or zero rating of specific content or services. Another interpretation of net neutrality is equal access to all sites. Same data cost to access a site, there should not be any price differentiation. No zero rating, that is toll free data or sponsored data, would be acceptable. So, mobile network operators, mobile virtual network operators, and internet service providers will not charge end customers for data used by specific applications or internet service providers through their network in limited or metered data plans. The debate surrounding net neutrality in India is the freedom of speech and expression versus net neutrality. Article 19 of the Indian Constitution guarantees all citizens of India the right to freedom of speech and expression. This applies online as well as offline. Any restrictions placed on access to platforms of data are tantamount to a restriction of freedom of speech and expression. Citizen focused markets. Tampering with net neutrality could undermine the competitive functioning of both the telecoms and content provider markets, resulting in a poorer internet experience for the citizens. Now, there are different constraints of net neutrality. For example, allowing paid prioritization could lead to cartel type collusion between telecoms and OTTs, squeezing out smaller players as they try to enter the market and stifling innovation. The success of digital India will depend heavily on efficiently functioning broadband markets that deliver high speed internet access at affordable prices to all Indians. We will deal with the complex issues surrounding zero rating in a separate discussion. Here, net neutrality is a complex issue and has different nuances specific to a country depending on its socio political and economic situations, country specific situations. Accordingly, each country has adopted different responses to the issue of net neutrality. On the basis of measures undertaken on net neutrality, nations can be divided in the following categories, that is, countries which have taken no specific measures as the existing mechanism is often considered sufficient to address the issue. For example, Australia, Republic of Korea, New Zealand. Similarly, there are countries that have adopted light touch regulatory measures through transparency, lowering switching barriers, minimum quality of service requirements, etc. For example, European Commission, Japan, United Kingdom. The countries that have taken or proposed to take specific legislative measures to enforce net neutrality principles, that is, no blocking, no discrimination in treatment of traffic, etc., are subject to reasonable traffic management and other exemptions. For example, Brazil, Chile, France, Netherlands, Singapore, USA follows FCC rules. In 2011, India adopted the new IT rules that supplemented the IT Act 2000. These rules made it mandatory for Internet intermediaries to remove objectionable content within 36 hours of receiving complaint. In 2011, government also drew flag as it asked major sites like Google, Facebook, and Yahoo to pre-screen content and remove any objectionable or defamatory content from going live. The issue, that is net neutrality, surrounds one aspect is this of debate whether the throttling of certain types of traffic by network operators should be acceptable under certain conditions or not. The motivation for throttling lies in the fact that some applications and their users are heavier on the internet in that they generate more traffic and consume more bandwidth. But because the internet is a shared resource, this results in poor performance for everyone at peak hours. Another aspect of net neutrality debate is about the creation of first lanes and paid prioritization with two tiers of service. Given that certain type of traffic need faster delivery, such as video streaming, while others, such as emails and file transfer, don't, it is natural to think in terms of having different lanes with different speeds and prices. However, some argue that if a two-tiered internet were to be allowed, investments in the lower tier will dry up. Consequently, new web entrants who don't have the capital to pay for first lanes will not have the similar advantages that YouTube and Facebook had. Currently, there are no laws enforcing net neutrality in India, although TRAI, that is TRI guidelines for the Unified Access Service license promote net neutrality, it does not enforce it. The Information Technology Act 2000 also does not prohibit companies from throttling their services in accordance with their business interest. However, the primary goals of public policy in the context of net neutrality should be directed towards achievement of developmental aims of the country by facilitating affordable broadband, quality broadband, and universal broadband for its citizen. Now, given to this context, I'll explore the transformative impact of social media on digital journalism in India through a series of case studies. It highlights how platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram have reshaped news dissemination, audience engagement, and the overall landscape in the country, and thus shaping the digital activism. By examining specific instances where social media has played a pivotal role in reporting and shaping public discourse, we aim to understand the challenges and opportunities that arise in this new era of digital journalism and the rise of social media. The social media has revolutionized the way news is produced, consumed, and shared in India. With millions of users actively engaging on various platforms, journalists have found new avenues for storytelling and audience interaction. Here, I'll present several case studies that illustrate the dynamic relationship between social media and journalism in India, how they are used as a weapon for mass awakening or nationalist awakening, showcasing both successful and problematic instances. The case study 1, the Nirvaya case. In 2012, the brutal gang rape of a young woman in Delhi sparked nationwide protests and outrage. Social media played a crucial role in mobilizing public sentiment and disseminating information. Hashtags like hashtag justice for Nirvaya trended on Twitter, amplifying voices demanding justice. Journalists utilized social media to share real time updates, engage with activists, and provide a platform for survivors' stories, highlighting the power of social media in shaping public discourse around the sensitive issue like rape. Similarly, the case study 2, I'll talk about COVID-19 pandemic. During the COVID-19 pandemic, social media became a vital source of information for millions of Indians. Journalists leveraged platforms to share updates on health guidelines, vaccination drives, and government policies. However, this case also highlights the challenges of misinformation. The rapid spread of false information regarding the virus and vaccines led to significant public confusion. Journalists had to navigate this landscape carefully, using social media to counter misinformation while ensuring accurate reporting. Case study 3, the farmers' protest. The farmers' protest against the controversial farm laws in 2020 to 2021 saw extensive coverage on social media. Journalists and activists used platforms like Twitter and Instagram to document the protests, share live updates, and amplify the voices of the farmers. The hashtag farmers protest gained global attention, illustrating how social media can transcend geographical boundaries and bring international focus to local issues. This case study emphasizes the role of social media in grassroots journalism and activism. Case study 4, Delhi riots. The communal riots in Delhi in February 2020 highlighted the dual edged nature of social media in journalism. While it served as a tool for real time reporting and eyewitness accounts, it also became a breeding ground for hate speech and misinformation. Journalists faced the challenge of verifying information amidst a flood of content. This case underscores the importance of responsible journalism in the age of social media, where the line between fact and fiction can often blur. To conclude, I must say all the case studies that I have discussed today in the session clearly exemplifies that social media can be a tool for mass awakening and thus serving public interest. Here, once again, I have to reiterate the fact that social media platforms should be used responsibly and ethically. Citizens or the normal common people should not use social media platforms just for the sake of creating rumors in the name of public interest. Thank you very much.